Alright, another BR60163 video coming up here, but first of all, well, as you can see, it is the most gorgeous of days out there. It is literally red hot, very, 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 very warm inside this room. Yep, have to have both windows open. It was nice yesterday, the warm weather has finally arrived. It has not been this nice for a while. Recently spring has been rather poor. We've had a lot of rain here, but it is red hot today. What we're going to look at now, as you can see what I've got on the floor here. Now of course you saw this locomotive in the video where I go through my dad's old collection. And we're more pretty familiar with my Flying Scotsman. But of course since me and my dad have both been model railway collectors, I thought I might just get out our these two locomotives because these are our first ones. Now I know there's a huge age difference, of course. I've got my Flying Scotsman in towards the back end, Christmas 2003. So my Flying Scotsman's coming up about 8.5 or 9 years old this year, and the B12 is coming up about 40. Well, he got her in 71, but I'm not sure when she was actually made, so I'd say probably about 40. She's just about 42, 43 years old this year. I'd say probably about 43, 44 at the oldest. And again, of course, he got her in a little goods train set, and at least he still has one wagon left, which came with it. So the wagon's the same age as well, over 40 years old. She doesn't really look it, you know. And she's in pretty much still good condition. I mean, the wheels look good. Unfortunately, again, of course, lost one of the number stickers on this side, but still has both the tender sides on. But logos, I don't think the camera can pick it up because it goes out of focus. But there's it's scratching off a little bit, but it's still visible on both sides. And all that's really after that is just the slight funny shaped hole there, a little bit of a chip out, but her boiler's fully intact. Well, so really with these, it's not until you look closer, and she's got a as you can see the holes, a whistle or a safety valve missing. But she's otherwise she's still fairly intact, and she definitely looks like, and there's pretty much a very high chance that this locomotive will be running again. Oh, and but I fixed this myself. One of the pony truck wheels actually broke in half at one point, but I managed to glue it back together and managed to get it back into the metal long axle. It's pretty much, and it was pretty much almost as good as new. I'm still getting 1971 and 2003. I mean, when my Flying Scotsman's the same age as this one, she will always be with me, of course. Always, I'll always keep her. But I wonder where the location will be when she's the same age as this one. This locomotive is good. Great looking loco. Again, 61572 is preserved on the North Norfolk Railway, of course, and it's the only LNER B12 left. So again, she's good, but not as young as she was once. My Flying Scotsman's still young, of course, but again, as I was saying a minute ago, wonder where I should have said will have her running in 35, 40 odd years time when she's the same. When she's the same age as this one. So she's coming up almost 10 years. Coming up, it's soon it'll be pretty much 10th anniversary since I got her. And again, I can remember on Christmas Day back in 2003, upstairs here running her. Literally, you just could not get me away from the train set. Well, you just could not get me away from I was upstairs constantly. The only time I really went down was for Christmas dinner. Yep. I was just amazed. I could not believe that I'd got a set with the Flying Scotsman. I mean, my dad first showed me his a couple of years before I got Flying Scotsman. I thought they were really fantastic. I hadn't really seen many newer models in the shops then, and I really had my eyes on the locomotive Flying Scotsman. She was getting to be my favourite steam locomotive until, I'm pretty sure it was that time I was in a model shop in down in Dorset, Bournemouth, when I saw the Flying Scotsman train set, and right after that I thought, wow, I've got to get that set. And I got her. Again, of course, one difference is that the Scotsman's tender driven, and she's loco driven, the B12. So yeah, both our first locos here. I mean, in quality, how they look, there's really not that much difference. I mean between 61572 here. She's just like someone who just does not look their age. So yeah, of course, obviously, World Match pretty had quite a passion for I've had quite a passion for LNER locomotives. Well, since like the Great Flying Scotsman of the LNER, London North Eastern Railway. Oh, and B12 61572 is, of course, you may already know, and I said when I was going through when we were looking at her in my dad's rolling stock videos, that she was in BR black, but they've painted her LNER green now, like Flying Scotsman, and she's in a LNER number which is 8572. I kind of prefer her in the LNER livery, particularly that she's the sole surviving B12. And so I got Flying Scotsman, of course, I've just got one of the coaches out. Small passenger set, 3 LNER teak coaches. Well, again, some sets come with 3, some come with 4. I've got the 3 one, of course, and my dad again got the B12 with a couple of wagons. This UD milk tanker. I think it's a small open plank wagon, 1 or 2 vans, and a brake van. Yep, they both look splendid. So I was 11 when I got this train. My dad, 1971, would have been 12. I think around 12 or 13 when he got this locomotive. Well, this train set, of course. Again came with a train set, which would have been one of the older boxes, of course. Again, of course, my newest set is in the background there, the City Freight one. Again, out of the 3 sets I've got, it goes Flying Scotsman, the Western Pullman, which is in the wardrobe, and then City Freight. So I keep the City Freight ones stored on top of those 2. So whenever I get it, whenever I want to get Flying Scotsman or one of all our coaches out, I have to remove a couple of boxes first. I mean, of course, one of the locomotive I've got similar to Scotsman is the LNER Hornby Railroad Falcon there, which I've done an unboxing video of. I recommend you check that one out if you haven't done so already. Now again, I think I've said before that well, I can remember pretty much perfectly unwrapping the Christmas wrapping paper on Christmas Day, and I'm pretty sure she was the last present I opened up. I can remember me and my dad opening her up. Well, opening her box up, we got it's one of those boxes. Some it's a full solid bit of polystyrene, one single large polystyrene tray holder, but the Flying Scotsman one is two separate ones, one for the track and the controllers and transformer, and the other one just for the locomotive and carriages themselves. See again, and that's what Flying Scotsman is. We got the track one out first, then got Flying Scotsman out. Got the loco out here to have a look at her. I was just pretty much blown away. I couldn't believe that I'd got her. You know, she just looks stunning. You know, despite her being, well, you know, of course, the lower detail railroad model and without windows in there, you know, she still looks good and will always be special, this one. And then so after that, like through the years 2004, 4 and 5, I didn't really set the track up as much. Then my dad used to mostly do it, or help me with most of it. I just really wanted it up. And now I had both of these locos running. I think it was just after the new year, into early 2004, when we did manage to get the B12 going again. Again, I had Flying Scotsman pulling her coaches, and when I first bought some freight wagons, I had the B12 pulling them at first. But unfortunately, she really wasn't running well. She started acting up and just completely dying. So she needs work. She needs work done. But there's definitely a high chance that sometime in the near future there will be a video of this locomotive running again. So again, me and my dad, when she started not running very well and just stopping, you know, again, it was definitely the locomotive. The track was all fine, clean, and Scotsman was running perfect. So it was definitely the loco. Something was wrong, and we started getting out some of my dad's old diesels, which didn't run perfect, mind, but much better. But the way that I got that Class 47 County of Norfolk running in the Part 3 of my dad's rolling stock, again, hopefully we should, well, at least get the B12 running to that standard. Just a couple of checks in there. And plus, I've never tried it with the HM2000. You know, I was running my trains for many years with the standard controllers. I just had one at first, and then since the Scotsman train set layout came with two sidings, we extended the sidings with some of my dad's older track to make, you know, so bigger trains could stop in them. You know, we have Flying Scotsman in one with the passenger train, and the B12 with the goods train in the other one, which looked really clever. So again, just a single track, of course, with two sidings, one train in one, and we just reversed. Well, you know, again, if I just could only run one at a time. It was before I was about a year or two before I managed to set up a double track. When I got another train controller, reversed a train out of the siding and run it around the layout, then put it back in the siding, and then reverse the other one out. You know, add the goods or passenger one. And despite the layout being much smaller then, because as I said before, my room was a bit different then, and had a different bed, and totally different, and was sealed all around, so I couldn't run under it. But looking at that now, the layout back then, thinking about it now, was tiny again. As I said, from pretty much around there to about where the Falcon locomotive is now. That's how much smaller the layout was now. Back then, sorry. Well, I suppose one good advantage about the bed I had then is that it was much lower, so you I had a bit more space. I didn't have to put as many. Well, we didn't have to put as many boxes on the floor, or the. Well, I didn't have as many trains then, but we could. One good place we could put the Flying Scotsman's box when we got her out, or locomotives rolling stock on standby, was just on the bed. Nice soft surface for them. So yeah, we still had good running then. You know, was running my first engine. and my dad's pulling the goods train. So we were running my dad's until I got my class 40, which was my second locomotive and first diesel. So then I had the 40 and Flying Scotsman running for the 40 on the goods train, of course. So I think one time once or twice I coupled some of my dad's old intercity coaches onto the 40. And and one thing I can remember is I don't remember what was wrong, but I can remember. I think I've said this once or twice before, but my dad for some reason had to dismantle the tender. Well, you know, to get to her motor. I don't know why, but for some reason something was wrong. I can remember him getting in a fairly panicking state, thinking. And I think I can remember him saying, "Look, well, I sort of said, look, what's wrong? It's a brand new locomotive." And he was like, "Well, I can remember him saying, well, if I don't get this sorted out, it won't run." So it really puzzled me. I thought he was getting in the state of, oh no, you know, we're gonna have to send this back. But he managed to sort it out, and we got her running. I guess before anyone asks, I really cannot remember what was wrong. Because, well, I wasn't thinking anything of it. I was just constantly staring at the track, wanting to get her running. Just another cut there. So I just had to cool down. It is literally like a greenhouse in this room. Oh, so yeah. My dad's got so many memories of running this locomotive when he was young. In his bedroom in the house he used to live in when he was younger, he used to have, I think he said, like something like figure eight shaped layout, which he had this train and her wagons running on. Back in like the late 70s, middle late 70s, I think he mentioned about 1978. And I'll always remember, you know, despite when the Flying Scotsman's over 40 years, well, my Flying Scotsman model is over 40 years old, I'll always remember the very first layout I had set up, sorry. Should I say, the very first layout I had up, small oval shape with two sidings. The two sidings eventually extended so we could fit longer trains in them. You know, passenger. Well, I'm pretty sure I just kept the Flying Scotsman on her 3 coaches, but we still had to extend the siding because it was just that little bit short to fit her all in. And plus, I did buy quite a fair amount of goods wagons from my local Model Zone store. And plus, you know, the size of that, the massive size of the Class 40 when I got her, we had to extend the siding even more. The massive, you know, due to the massive length of her. So again, my first loco, Flying Scotsman, my first parts of rolling stock, LNER teak coaches, and of course with my dad. First loco B12 and first stock, as a small little mix of goods wagons, including this little UD milk tanker. Again, it's not in brilliant condition, this. There's a little bit of snapped part going on in the chassis bit below there. And the tanker bit itself, again, lost one end back. Well, you see that back frame part there. It's lost it on this end and lost its lid as well. And again, I've managed to find, put it back together because the tank bit can actually come off. I've managed to put her wheels back on, but they're very loose and can very easily come out of place. Because some of the chassis parts snapped on one side at one end and can very easily pull apart and can cause the wheels to come off, or the end parts to come out of their holes. at the end, at the sides of the bogies, but it's actually been a while since I've had that in a goods train. But might be out again one day. Just haven't used it in a while. And again, as I was saying before, the first year or two of running them, I only had one controller, so couldn't really do couldn't do a double track. Well, sometimes what I used to do was just do a single track with like a loop, so I could have two trains on. Started setting up loops instead of sidings, so it was a lot more easier and simple to get the trains going. Again, so I could have two trains on. So I could have two trains on. Even though, again, of course, just running one of them at a time. Still always found running them very enjoyable. I was very happy once I got the Western Pullman 6. I had another controller, so that was good. I set my first double track on the Christmas day 2005 when I got my Western Pullman set, which I really enjoyed. I practically spent all day that Christmas day setting the double track up. It took me absolutely ages. It pretty much takes me less than 30 minutes now, but it took me almost, thinking back, it took me practically almost all day to do it. Well, because I set up one or two sidings as well. So it was good until the train controller with the Flying Scotsman set, which I've still got. I'll never use again, but I'm still going to keep it since it was my first set. But it went a bit haywire, a bit corrupt. What I mean is that the red turner, the red speed control turner, of course, despite it being at zero, zero off, the train would still move at a speed as if it was over half after 12 o'clock. Turning it like that, as if you turn it from zero to about that much, the train would still be moving, and that I thought was rather strange. I was like, seriously, this train, this train. I can't remember which one I experienced it first with, because it was happening. I was running my dad's old DMU, old 2-car DMU when it was running okay, until something shorted out on it. But I was running that one, and that was during when that controller was acting up. So again, the trains have got it's got a life of its own or something. Again, it happened with a few. I can't remember all, but it was one of them was definitely my my dad's DMU. And so again, I'd turn the controller right down like that, but the train was still going. It would only stop if the direction switch was put to the zero position. You put it to zero, the train would suddenly stop. You put it to forward or reverse, it'd be off. Again, despite the controller being at zero, which is no power. So I don't know what happened to that controller. I haven't tried it against again. That incident happened with it about 6-7 years ago, and I haven't got that controller out since. But I'm okay to just keep. It'll be okay just left in the box for now. Again, since it was my first one, I feel like I should keep it. I did have about during. After that, I was pretty disappointed because I really enjoyed doing a double track. So me and my dad from Model Zone just bought a new single train standard train controller. So I did have about 3 or 4 of those train controllers. I had quite a few, although 1 or 2 of them have gone now. Since I've got the HM2000, which I've had for just about 2 years now, but which is 50 times better. I absolutely adore that controller. It's much smoother again. My dad's should run, and this one including should run much better with it. But when she's in much more operable order. Yeah, she's kind of, well, if you describe it as kind of static display at the moment. The layout should hopefully be up towards the next week or the week after at the latest. There'll be another video up, which will be done throughout most of June. So there'll be another special running video uploaded. Get ready for that towards the end of June. And lastly, let's just have a look at a few photos of these two. I know I filmed them all already, but just to finish off,